today we are going to start with a new chapter, that is metals and non-metals, which is chapter number 3 of our NCERT book class 10. Okay. So in this chapter, before starting with the chapter, let me introduce you about the chapter. Okay. So as per the new reduced syllabus of CBSE, we have to read some parts of the chapter, that is topic 3.1, which is metals and non-metals, which includes physical properties of metals and non-metals that we have to study, followed by chemical properties of metals and non-metals. Then the third topic, that is topic 3.3, which includes what will happen when metals and non-metals they are reacting with each other. That is, how do metals and non-metals react with each other, and whenever metals and non-metals, as they are ionic compounds, whenever they will be reacting with each other, there will be some chemical reaction that will be taking place, and because of the chemical reaction, there will be formation of a new compound called ionic compounds. So we will also be learning about the properties of ionic compounds which are formed in the case when metals and non-metals they are reacting with each other. So let's start with the first topic, that is physical properties of metals and non-metals. Start with the first physical property. This is our first topic, that is physical properties of metals and non-metals. So here we will be learning in a comparative manner. We will compare the properties of we will compare the properties of metals and non-metals. Okay. So let's start with the first property. See students, this you have already learned in your lower classes. Okay, so on the basis of the ideas and the topics which you have already learned in 7 and 8 standard, we are going to draw some conclusions of the physical as well as chemical properties of metals and non-metals. Okay, so the first physical property of metals and non-metals is their state. So the first property that we are going to see is the state in which metals and non-metals exist. Okay, so here let me write metals. Then on the other side we will be writing all the properties of non-metals. Okay, so we all know that metals usually exist in one state of matter as they are very hard, and you have seen various metals around your nature, around your environment. So we all know that metals usually exist in one state of matter, that is solid. Okay, metals usually exist in solid state of matter. For example, iron. For example, magnesium ribbon, which you have seen while performing various activities in lower classes. For example, aluminium. Aluminium is used for making various utensils. Copper, gold, silver. So all these are some of the basic metals that you have already seen in your day-to-day life. Okay. So basically, metals they are solid in nature. But here we have one exception. And the exception as per your NCERT book is of a metal called mercury. Now mercury is a metal. In spite of being a metal, it does not remain in a solid state. We all know, we have seen in the case of thermometers, clinical thermometer, mercury is used. So mercury in this case is used in a liquid state. Okay. So in spite of being a metal, mercury remains in a liquid state at room temperature. Always remember, many students will be saying, ma'am, अगर हम metals को melt करेंगे तो metals भी liquid हो जाएंगे. Yes, but here when we are talking about state of matter of elements, we are talking about their state in the natural or in the normal room temperature. That is, at 32 degrees Celsius, metals generally they remain solid in nature, while we have our mercury. In spite of being a metal, at room temperature it is liquid in state. Is it clear? Yes. Moving on to non-metals. So non-metals, they exist in all the three states of matter. They exist in solid state, they also exist in liquid state, and non-metals, they also exist in gaseous states. Yes, can you tell me one example of non-metal that exists in solid state? Yes, we have sulfur. Sulfur is a non-metal that exists in a solid state. We have phosphorus. So phosphorus being a non-metal, it also exists in solid state. Then when talking about metals that non-metals that exist in liquid state, we have bromine. B-R-O-M-I-N-E. We have bromine. So bromine is a non-metal and it exists in a liquid state. Then we have gases. So when we are talking about gases, so we have various non-metals like oxygen, nitrogen, right? So these are some of the non-metals that exist in gaseous state in normal room temperature. I hope the first property, that is state, is clear to all of you. Okay, moving on to the next property. So the next property that we are going to see is hardness. Okay, the next property is hardness. Now, in the case of metals, usually metals are very hard. Generally, metals are very hard. While non-metals, you must have seen sulfur, you must have seen phosphorus, they are not hard in nature. You must have seen coal, which is made up of carbon, and carbon is a non-metal. You have seen graphite being made up of carbon. It is also not very strong, it is very brittle in nature, right? So when we are talking about this physical property, that is hardness, metals, they are very hard in nature, while non-metals, they are brittle in nature. Okay, one second. They are brittle in nature. Brittle in nature means they can be easily broken down. You can easily break down. You can easily crush them. Okay, so metals, they are very hard in nature, while non-metals, they are brittle in nature. Now moving on to the exceptions. See everyone, chemistry is full of exceptions. Chemistry में ऐसा कुछ नहीं है जहाँ पे exceptions नहीं होते हैं, ठीक है? So you have to memorize the exceptions. Exceptions are very important, and definitely MCQ questions can be asked from this exception part of this particular chapter. Okay, so moving on to the exceptions, already in 7th standard you have learned that we have 3 types of alkali metals called lithium. I am not writing the complete name, I am writing just the symbol of it. Okay, we have Li stands for lithium, then we have Na, which is our sodium, then we have K, which is our potassium. So these 3 metals are exceptions. Okay, when we are talking about this physical property, that is hardness. Lithium, sodium and potassium, they are not very hard. They are soft metals, and they are so soft that you can easily cut them with the help of your knife. Okay, so here the exceptions are, in the case of metals which are not hard, which are soft, are lithium, sodium and potassium. These metals are also known as alkali metals. Now you people are aware about alkalis. Okay, we have already learned about alkalis and acid, bases and salt chapter. Now moving on to the non-metals. In the case of non-metals, we again have one exception, and the exception is of diamond. Okay, so diamond is also made up of a non-metal called carbon. Different types of carbons, they combine together and they give rise to diamond. About diamond and various other types of carbon related compounds, we will be learning in the carbon chapter. Okay, so we have diamond. Diamond being made up of a non-metal, it is hardest substance that is present or that is known to us. And this diamond is so hard that it is used in glass industries for cutting the glass in various shapes. Okay, so diamond in the case of non-metal is an exception, as it is the hardest substance known. Is it clear? So we have seen 2 properties. First, state of matter of metals and non-metals. Then we have seen the second property, that is hardness in the case of metals and non-metals. Now moving on to the third physical property of metals and non-metals. Malleability. Okay, so the third property is malleability. Now what is this malleability property? So malleability is the property of substances in which substances can be converted into thin wires. So the moment you hear this term malleability, it should come in your head that malleability is related to thin sheets, not wires. I'm so sorry. It is related to thin sheets. So in the case of malleability, it is the property of a substance in which substances can be converted into thin sheets by hammering. Okay, so we have various metals like iron, okay, then we have gold, then we have silver. So you have seen that gold के इतनी सारी ज्वेलरी के डिजाइन होते हैं, सिल्वर के इतने सारे ज्वेलरी के डिजाइन होते हैं, राइट. वी हैव एल्यूमिनियम जिसमें हमारे यूटेंसिल्स बनते हैं. So all these substances, because of their property of being malleable, we can convert them into thin sheets and we can prepare different types of substances because of this property, that is malleability of metals. So metals, they are highly malleable, okay. So metals, they are highly malleable. While on the other case, non-metals, as non-metals, they are very brittle in nature. The moment you will hammer them, they will crash down, okay, they will be broken down into different pieces. So in the case of non-metals, they are not malleable, okay. So non-metals, they are non-malleable in nature. Is it clear? So non-metals are non-malleable in nature. Moving on to the third property, fourth property, which is ductility. Now ductility is the property of substances in which they can be drawn or they can be converted into thin wires, okay. So the moment you hear the term ductility, wires should be coming in your head, thin wires, okay. So in the case of metals they are highly ductile. For example, copper. सबने देखा है हमारे घर में वायरिंग्स जो होती हैं, the wirings are made up of copper, right? Various small gold के wires होते हैं. So it is these metals, because of their nature of being ductile, they can be drawn into very small thin wires, okay? So metals, they are highly ductile in nature. While on the other hand, our non-metals, they are non-ductile in nature. Is it clear? So metals, they are highly malleable, that is we can convert them into thin sheets, while our metals, they are also ductile, which means that they can be getting converted into thin wires, okay. On the other hand, we have metals. Metals, they are non-malleable and they are non-ductile. We cannot convert them into thin sheets, and when we are talking about ductile, that is they are non-ductile, means they cannot be getting converted, or it is not possible for us to convert them into thin wires, okay. So the next property that we are going to see is conductivity. First, we will be learning about conductivity of heat in the case of metals, followed by in the case of non-metals. Then we will be seeing conductivity of electric current in the case of metals and in the case of non-metals. So let's start with the fifth property is conduction of heat, okay, or conductivity of heat. So we all know that you have already performed an experiment and you are already aware कि जितने भी हमारे utensils होते हैं, if the utensils they are not having a plastic covering at their end, जो भी उनका handle होता है वहाँ पे अगर plastic covering नहीं है, तो what will happen because of that? If suppose it is kept on a burning चूल्हे पे रखा है या फिर किसी भी burning gas पे रखा हुआ है for longer time, so definitely the moment you will touch the handle which is made up of metallic substance, what will happen? Your hands will be getting burned. Okay, so why it is happening? Because metals they are good conductors of heat. Already पढ़ रखा है तुमने ये 6-7 standard में. So metals they are good conductors of heat. Okay, so metals, in the case of metals, they are good conductors of heat. Okay. While on the other hand we have non-metals. Non-metals are poor conductor of heat. Is it clear? Metals are good conductor of heat, while non-metals, they are poor conductor of heat. Again, in this case, we are having one exception. That is, in the case of metals, we have two metals called Pb. You know what this Pb is? Yes, Pb is lead. So we have Pb and mercury. What is the symbol of mercury? Hg. Okay. So we have Pb and Hg, that is lead and mercury. They are poor conductor of heat. Okay. They are not good conductors of heat. They are poor conductor of heat. Is it clear to all of you? So metals generally they are good conductors of heat, while non-metals generally they are bad conductor of heat. One exception in this case is Pb and Hg, that is lead and mercury, which in spite of being metals are poor conductor of heat. Is it clear? Now moving on to the next property, that is conduction of electricity. Again in this case, यूजुअली जब भी तुम किसी भी सर्किट में एक मेटल को अटैच करोगे तो you know that you have already seen in lower classes that the circuit will be getting completed when a metal ring is inserted. For example, suppose this is a simple circuit. यहाँ पे we have a bulb. Okay, it is connected to a So in this 2 points, that is point A and B, suppose if I insert a metallic key, I am inserting a metallic key. So what will happen to the circuit? Will the circuit be getting completed or it will be an incomplete circuit? Yes, the circuit will be a complete circuit and the bulb will start to glow, right? Similarly, if I replace this key with some other non-metallic substance, okay, so in that case what will happen? The bulb will not glow. Okay, you have already performed this experiment in lower classes. So this activity proves that metals, they are good conductor of electricity, while non-metals, they are again poor conductor of electricity. Again we have one exception in this case. In the case of non-metals, we have graphite. Graphite is also a form of carbon compound. Like diamond, graphite is also a form of carbon. Okay, and graphite being made up of carbon, which is a non-metal, it is a good conductor of electricity. It is a good conductor of electricity. You must have also performed this activity. When you take a pencil, okay, this is the nib, or this is the lead of the pencil, and this is the wooden part of the pencil. So when wooden part of the pencil is connected to the circuit, the bulb will not glow. But the moment you connect these two ends with the lead of the pencil, you will see that the bulb starts to glow. So this lead of the pencil is made up of graphite, which is a form or allotrope of carbon. About allotropes we will be learning in the carbon chapter, okay. So graphite is a form or allotrope of carbon which is a good conductor of electricity. Is it clear? Okay. Now, apart from that, we have the next property, that is melting and boiling point. Now in the case of metals, usually metals they have, let me write the next property here. Mp stands for melting point, and we have Bp which stands for, it does not stand for blood pressure, it stands for boiling point. Okay, you are aware about melting and boiling point. So in the case of metals, as they are very strong, strong means there will be more force of attraction between the particles of matter of metals. So definitely they will be having high melting and boiling point, while non-metals which are not that strong, which are brittle, they will be having low melting and boiling point. Is it clear? Next we will see exceptions in this physical property. That is, in the case of metals, we have two exceptions. The exceptions is of two metals called cesium and gallium. So we have two metals which are named as cesium and gallium. So these elements, in spite of being metals, they are having low melting point. and they will be solid at room temperature. 30 degree Celsius में वो लोग 32 degree Celsius में they will be solid, but the moment there is sudden decrease in the temperature, 30 degree Celsius जैसे ही temperature होगा, these two metals cesium and gallium they will start melting. Okay, so they have very low melting point. They have low melting point in comparison to all other metals, and their melting point is so low, the moment you keep them in your palm they will start to melt down. Is it clear? Moving on to the next property, you must have seen that in our houses जो हमारी wires होती हैं, wires although they are made up of copper like substances, they are made up of copper inside because of the ductility property of metals, and as you know that metals are good conductors of electricity. The outer covering of the wires are made up of plastic or plastic like substance, right? So this plastic like substance is made up of PVC, where P stands for poly. Let me write it here. P stands for poly, V stands for vinyl, and C stands for chloride. Okay, so this PVC is made up of polyvinyl chloride, and you know that chloride being a non-metal, chlorine falls under the category of non-metals, and non-metals they are poor conductor of heat and electricity. So this is the reason why we use PVC, that is polyvinyl chloride, as the outer covering of electric wires to prevent ourselves from the electric shock. Is it clear? Okay, now moving on to the next property, that is luster. Now we have seen that metals, they are having a metallic shininess present in them. There is a metallic shine that is present in the case of metals. Let it be an iron. If the iron is completely new iron, if you see polished iron, you will see that the iron will be having a metallic shine. Copper, polished gold, polished silver. So all these things, they are having a particular metallic shine, and the metallic shine is known as luster, L-U-S-T-R-E. So metals, they are lustrous in nature. Okay, metals, they are lustrous in nature. But in the case of non-metals, although non-metals have various colors, for example sulfur, which is yellowish in color, we have phosphorus, which is reddish in color, we have white phosphorus also, right? So these substances, they are having different color, but they are devoid of the metallic shine. No metallic shine is present in the case of non-metals. So non-metals, they are non-lustrous in nature. Okay, while metals, as they are having a metallic shine, they are lustrous in nature. Now in the case of non-metals, again we have one exception, that is, the exception is of iodine. Now iodine, in spite of being a non-metal, it is lustrous in nature. Okay, so iodine is lustrous in nature. Okay, in spite of being a non-metal, generally non-metals are non-lustrous, but we have an exception, that is iodine. It is lustrous in nature. Okay, the next property that we are going to see is density. The next property is density. So as metals, they are usually solid, they are strong in structure, they are very strong in comparison to non-metals. So definitely metals, they will be having high density, while non-metals, they will be having low density. Is it clear? So these are some of the physical properties of metals and non-metals. Now in the next video, we will be learning about chemical properties. Okay, so before starting with the chemical properties, I assume that you are knowing the difference between physical properties and chemical properties, right? Physical properties and chemical properties. So basically, physical properties are such properties in which you will get to know about the element or a substance without changing its physical nature. Okay, while when we are talking about chemical properties, in the case of chemical properties, for knowing about the elements, for knowing about the nature of elements, some chemical reaction has to be taken place, And you know that whenever there are some chemical reactions taking place, it is always accompanied by some chemical change. Okay, and the original property of the element will be changed once the reaction has taken place, and a new substance will be formed, and that new substance which is formed will be telling you or will be giving you some physical chemical properties of that particular element. So I hope you are clear with the physical properties. We have seen 8 physical properties of metals and non-metals. Now in the next class we will be learning about chemical properties of metals.